Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to another Chamber Check-In episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. Today, I am honored to get to share the KDP Certified Public Accountant story, and I've got Chad Bennett, the new director of the advisory for KDP CPAs. Hi, Chad.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. You know what's really cool about these chamber check-ins and about our members is that I'll feature some members that have just joined. I'll feature some members that have been members for 3 to 5 years. But Chad, do you know that KDP has been a member of the chamber for 25 years?
I believe that. Yep, it's a great organization.
Yeah. Anyway, it's coming up on tax season.
Yep.
And if you're getting prepped, you got to do it now. And KDP is a great outfit to get engaged with. But
That's
Chad,
right.
These chamber check-ins are great ways of sharing our members' origin stories, their products, their services, but most importantly, the people. So let's start out with you. Why don't you give us a little bit about your background and your history of work that led you to KDP?
Sure. Thanks, Paul. So I've been a CPA now for about 20 years and have been doing it both in Portland and then also here in Boise, and have recently gotten into the business advisory service line and have been doing that now for quite a while and really, really enjoy it.
Well, welcome to Boise. How long have you been in town?
Well, lived here for about 11 years, but grew up in La Grande, Oregon, so Boise adjacent.
Okay. All right. Let's dive into KDP's origin story. Now, there's an Oregon office, and then there's the Boise office. But tell us how it all started, when and where, and how and why.
Sure. Started off back in the 70s in Medford, Oregon. But most recently, if we fast forward to today, in 2021, we merged with Whitaker and Associates, which is a Jody Whitaker is kind of a local name that a lot of people know. And also during 2021, we became part of the RSM Alliance, which is the fifth largest accounting firm in the country, made up of lots of very small local and regional CPA firms like ours. So we have all of the expertise in-house, and then we have them as a backstop that we can turn to for any need that comes along.
Incredible. I'm glad you mentioned Jody because, yes, she's been the cornerstone partner of the chamber and a face for the name, and I was so excited when she announced that partnership, and then the new build on 27th Street. Tell us about that.
Yeah, very exciting. So brand new building moved into last March at 27th and Main near the Whitewater Park, and it's coming along great. And we just finished the parking lot with plenty of parking spaces, so fully open and ready for the public.
I'm glad that you all, the partners, shout out to the partners and the entire team that made the investment to remodel that building that's been there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that part of town. Thank you for making that investment.
Of course, and it's looking great. Still plenty of work to do, but it's looking really, really good. We're very pleased with it.
Okay. So everybody knows CPAs, right? A little bit about tax accounting and taxes at the end of the year. Tell us a little bit more, dive a little bit deeper into the breadth of services that KDP offers.
Sure. So we most certainly do offer tax services for both business and individuals. But beyond that, we also offer audit services for for-profit businesses and entities, or not-for-profit entities and government entities. So we kind of span the spectrum in terms of if you need an audit, we can do all of that. Of course, I'm in the business advisory service line, but we also offer a wealth service line. So think trusts, estates, that kinds of things. So it's really kind of a full financial package under one roof.
Okay. You'd mentioned advisory, and I looked on your website before we met today, and I noticed that there's the fractional CFO piece, the business valuation, and then kind of being a partner with the life cycle of a business. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. And I still get questions from friends and family who know I'm a CPA and think I do taxes. So there are questions out there around advisory. So I think the best way to try and describe it, you mentioned a fractional CFO. So it's easiest to run through an example of what that looks like. Most recently, we had a large hospital system who who luckily had some personnel that was moving up in the organization into a CFO role. And we also had them losing an accounting manager. So they had a void at kind of the accounting manager, finance director role. And they wanted to take their time in filling it and not rush into a hire. And so they came to KDP and asked, hey, can you keep things moving? Can you keep our accounting team, hitting our deadlines and providing accurate and timely financial statements while we conduct this search? And so I was able to step in for them, fill that role, both managing their accounting team and then reporting up to the CFO while they took their time to find the perfect candidate and ultimately fill those missing positions.
I think that's great. I've heard of fractional CMO a little bit, but I've never heard of the fractional CFO. And I love the way you explain that and letting that team take the time it takes to find the right candidate, all the while never skipping a beat, hiring KDP to fill that void. I think that's amazing.
Yep. And another, so that was a large organization, but it can also work very well for small to medium-sized organizations who may have bookkeepers in place and they've got their ownership group, but they need someone to maybe come in on a monthly or quarterly basis, really condense and distill that information into financial statements or dashboards or things that are going to really provide benefit to those owners to make decisions.
Tell me a little bit about the business valuation piece.
So that is one area where we've had clients come to us and say, hey, I'm looking to retire. I don't have a plan for selling. How much is my business worth? And so our valuation group can really step in, analyze the organization, work with ownership to determine what is the true value of that company, and then assist through the sale of that. They also can value organizations where maybe there is some internal stock where they need to value I'm not a publicly traded company on an open market, but I've got stock here. What is it worth? And so they can come in and kind of the similar process, get an understanding for the organization, benchmarking, that kind of thing, to help determine what is the value of that share worth.
Has this been something that most CPAs offer? Is this new?
I guess from my experience in 20 years, it's relatively new. Oftentimes it was absorbed by, you'd even have CPA firms where their accounting team or their audit team would step in and kind of do it. They may not have been specialists in it, but they took it on and did it. And so now we've really differentiated the service line to make sure that we are experts. When we're coming in, we're doing it with all of the background and knowledge to get to the right answer as efficiently as possible.
I think your timing is just perfect because I work for the chamber and I meet with businesses all the time. And I see quite a few businesses that have been owned and the owner's ready to retire or sell it or hand it off to their kids. So what a great opportunity in the right time.
Yeah, and not just valuation, the advisory piece can also step in and help with that. Because say you are a potential buyer, how do I know that the books that I'm buying, what they're reporting to me, are accurate? And that's where valuation and advisory are a good coupling to come in and help value the business, but then also try and verify that what you're purchasing is worth what you think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We talked a little bit about advisory service and its general offerings, and we talked about the fractional CFO. Thank you for explaining that. That was really well done. What do customers experience when they call KDP? Tell us a little bit about what a customer would experience working with y'all.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect question based on a call I was just on yesterday. So we had a client come to us with a whole lot of financial need. They needed to know, well, I need someone that can do my day-to-day bookkeeping. Well, we've got a service line for that. Well, I'm also an owner, and I'd like to know what are the tax strategies that not only my business, but my family should be thinking about. We can do that. What are good investments? Our wealth team can step in and do that. If they are under an audit, we have an audit team that can help with that. So really when a client calls KDP, what they're getting and what we want to build is that trusting long-term relationship with them. So, and we really want to be their one-stop spot for any of their finance and accounting needs.
Okay, I love it. Well, and you've got quite the team. Like, how many are on the team here in Boise?
Here locally, we have about 30, but about 100 firm wide. And then, like I said, with the RSM Alliance, we've got another 43,000 behind us. But here locally, there are about 30 of us, but growing. So still some construction at the new building, which is great, making room for the new talent coming in.
You got the skill set, the mindset, the resources, the new space. Oh, the timing's perfect.
It is. And awesome. So happy to really be entering the Boise market. It's such a great market. The business owners and leaders here are just fantastic.
Okay. We talked a little bit about fractional CFO, and what are some of the signs that somebody would be needing it? We talked about the large corporate piece, but if I missed it, help me understand,
Sure.
Help me share.
Sure. So normally our business advisory, we don't get the call when everything is going great. Normally, we will get a call with an owner saying, you know what, my accounting records are months behind, or I've got a really burnout accounting team. Something's going on. Can you come help? Can you kind of help diagnose what's going on? And so because of all the experience and all of the companies that we've seen, ultimately, big or small, companies are looking to get to accurate and timely financial statements. That's so that they can make decisions. So with a burnt out team or an overworked team like that, we can come in, help identify standardization, consistent policies and procedures to help streamline, kind of cut a lot of the noise out of those potentially complicated processes and try to make them easier, to get to clarity and take some of that load off of those accounting teams.
Okay. Well, while we're talking about some of the services you offered, again, I was diving into your website and I saw this Learning Center button. And under that Learning Center button, I saw so many learning opportunities, case studies, different examples of what's coming up next and how to be compliant. Tell me a little bit about what your clients will find on that Learning Center button.
Yeah. And this is another service we offer because in the accounting industry, standards are constantly changing. Most recently, most non-accountants wouldn't know it, but they just released a huge standard on how to account for leases. Well, not every client really has the know-how in-house on how to do that. Whereas most of our professionals have been there, done that, and helped implement it. So that learning resource is both there, but it's also in partnering with us to come in and save you a lot of the headaches or the mistakes that you could make if you try to do those implementations alone.
Chad, Oregon was founded in 1976, just recently merged with Whitaker. Now, KDP, tell us about the accolades. Now, I saw that it's been ranked, 400 top firms and 100 best companies. Tell us about those accolades and what those mean.
They mean a lot because a lot of those are also based on not just how our clients perceive us, but about the people that are working at the firm. One thing I will say is a lot of public accounting, the perception can be that the hours are really, really long, they're grueling, and there's no work-life balance. But a lot of what I've seen at KDP is that we really are trying to change that. We do things like offer employees 2 weeks of what we call a balance week, where the firm just closes the week of the 4th of July and between Christmas and New Year's. And benefits like that are huge, especially in an industry that is really known for grueling hours.
Oh, absolutely. And nobody's ever proactive, right, Chad? Everybody's like, I need it now. It's a sense of urgency.
Right. And so that's part of it too. We need to be very sensitive to client needs, and we are going to react and respond to those. But through careful planning and understanding of our clients, we can help get ahead of those things so that we aren't in a fire drill situation at the 11th hour.
Okay, we're talking about people now. Are you hiring, and who are you hiring, and what are you hiring for?
We are, all service lines. To us, we're at a point where, if you are a fit with the KDP culture and kind of what we are trying to build here, you will be a good fit with us. And if not right now, we can help find a fit for you down the road. A lot of the technical piece we're finding can be taught and can be learned. but we really look for that personality type, kind of that self-driven, go-getting mentality that really enjoys partnering with local businesses and owners. So that kind of drives a lot of our hiring.
So Jennifer Munoz times 40 is what you need.
Yeah. Yep. That would be right. That's a good way to say it.
Very tenacious people. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay. I have your website scrolling in the bottom of the screen. It's kdpllp.com. I found it to be a great resource. Is there anything else while I have you today, Chad, that you'd like to educate the public on?
Well, I think we've covered most of it, but I think if you are questioning at all whether or not you might have a need for your business, please don't hesitate to reach out. We can schedule a consult and get to know you a little bit and be transparent about whether or not we think it is a fit to bring us in or not. Again, we're looking to build trusted relationships with the community. So please reach out to us, contact us, and we're here to help.
That's awesome. Well, Chad, I want to just say in the short amount of time that we've got to connect, you are smooth and undeniably composed. And that's exactly what you want in a certified public accountant. And thank you so much for helping share the advisory piece with KDP and all the other services that are offered. Thank you for your 25 years of investment and membership in the chamber and in this community right here.
It's a fantastic community. And thanks again, Paul. Really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Hey, tell the team, have a great weekend from us. And we'll see you at the next after hours. We got to cheers.
All right. Thanks, Paul.